but I decided to apply them together, and this is, whoops, I'm dropping everything. Oh my gosh, Stay. Hi friends, welcome or welcome back. I'm MC, a knit and crochet designer and yarn dyer from Connecticut, and you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Blame the Knots, on my website, blametheknots.com, and of course right here on YouTube where you can get to know me a little bit better. Today is Wednesday, January 29th, and we are here for episode 41 of the podcast. And I'm gonna, yep, there it goes right now. I'm gonna apologize if you hear a lot of wind. We live by the coast, and so we don't get a ton of snow and stuff like that in the winter. We get wind. We get a lot of really strong wind, so sorry if you can hear that. I cannot control it. As cool as that would be to be able to control the weather, I'm not in charge of it. So sorry if you can hear a lot of things in the background today. Also, I tried my best to get myself, ooh, it's kind of, well, there's some spots. I tried my best to get myself in a spot with no sun today. It's just impossible. It's just impossible with the way that the sun is in the winter time. The angle that it's at, it comes into this room really, really hard. So, oh well. Anyway, moving into why we are here today, we have a lot to talk about today actually, so let's jump right on in and get started with finished objects and what I am wearing. I am so excited to be wearing this finished object today and to have it done. I started this in July and I put it on hold for I don't know why, but this is the Allison Cardigan. This is one of my designs, and oh, my chair's running away from me. This is, I held DK, my No Dot DK with my Oh Snap Surrey lace, and I used both of them in the colorway Let Your Taste Decide, which is now a retired colorway, but I actually do have, I believe I still have a sweater's quantity depending on your size, but I have a small sweater's quantity of DK and Surrey of this in my stash, or in stock, sorry, in stock for the shop still. So if you're interested, it's there. I also sewed on these cute little buttons that I got from one of my local yarn stores, and I just love how they are kind of wonky, and I sewed them all on in like at a different angle so that they would look even more wonky, and I love it. I decided, so let's see, are there any modifications for this pattern? One, my gauge was a tiny bit different than what the original pattern calls for, but I was close enough, and there's so much positive ease built into this pattern that I didn't care that much about how it was going to fit me in the end. I don't even remember what my actual gauge was, but it was slightly off from the pattern. Two, I did not do the embroidery that is included in the pattern, obviously. And three, I did not include the patch pockets that are in the pattern because for some reason I made my cardigan about 6 inches shorter than my first sample and then what the pattern calls for. I could not tell you why I did this. I made the decision in July and I don't remember why I made that decision. But yeah, I decided after I had everything done and the patch pockets were the last thing to be added on, I decided with where it is hitting me, I don't really want the pockets. So I'll stand up for you really quick. The original sample, you're not even gonna be able to see it. The original sample hits me like at the bottom of my butt, and this one hits me like almost at the fullest point of my hips. But I really wanted this to just be a cardigan that I basically used as kind of like a house coat, and pretty much just kind of kept it on the back of my chair and threw it on whenever I was cold at home. So it's perfect. It's serving its purpose, and I've already worn it like 4 times since I finished it. I'm very, very pleased to have it done. So On to our next finished object. You will see throughout the course of this podcast that I was in a very finishing mood lately, which feels so good. But I finished this design that is unnamed. Again, lately I've been having a lot of unnamed designs and I don't know what to do about it. So I got a really good suggestion for a name for my unnamed design from the last podcast. So just saying, Alexa, if you have any ideas, no pressure, but if you have any ideas. This project is made with Mano Steel Uruguay Marla in the colorway Spices, and it is a DK weight pattern, and I love it. It was in timeout for a little bit because I was very angry with it and myself. I basically did the sleeves on this 3 times and finally decided, like, I was at the point where I was like, I think I might just frog the whole thing and throw the yarn away. Like, I think I'm just done. I'm like over it. I want it to be done. And I talked myself down and talked to a bunch of friends and calmed down a little bit and decided to go with shorter sleeves. Now, they're not short sleeves. They come to like right about at my elbow. And I do like it. I do like it a lot. I wish it had long sleeves, but I don't have enough yarn for long sleeves. But I will make another sample at some point with long sleeves. But I do love it. I do love it a lot. And I am glad that that is done. This will probably, I am planning on releasing the pattern. And this also has a sister pattern, which is a hand-spun vest that I think I showed in the last podcast. I do plan on releasing them whenever they have names, but probably not until the fall because of the timing of, you know, by the time I got things patterned written, tech edited, tested, all that stuff, it would be too late in the year. So they will be coming one day. The next things that I finished are spinning, and I was really feeling the spinning bug lately and feeling like finishing spinning things. So firstly, I finished, okay, let me see if I can figure this out because they look so similar. Okay, I spun up some fiber that I got at Rhinebeck this past year, and one of them, they were both from Cece's Wool. One of them was a Shiniko, which is a relative of merino, and or a type of merino, something like that. And it has acrylic tweedy bits in it. So obviously I have a little bit of this left, but I spun up this and a Jacob roving ball that I got at Rhinebeck. Actually not at Rhinebeck, I like a random shop in Catskill, New York that just happened to have them. And I had always planned on plying them together. And then I doubted it for a little bit. I went back and forth, but I decided to ply them together. And this is, whoops, I'm dropping everything. Oh my gosh, stay. This is the result. So it's very cute, very Barber Pole-y, tweedy looking. I feel like this would make a really fun like vest or something. I don't know. So anyway, I ended up with 2 skeins because this is quite bouncy and lofty. Normally I would try and pack my bobbin more, but this like almost filled up a bobbin because it's very squishy and bouncy and there's a lot of air in it. So this skein has 371 yards and this skein has 189 yards. So they're cute. I like them. More to come on what will be happening with these in a little bit. We'll talk about it later. So then I used up all of the Jacob for this, but I had some of the Shiniko left. So I decided, I actually had like quite a bit of the Shiniko left. So I decided to try and see what I could use from my stash to use it up. And I had this 1 ounce sample of a Shetland fleece a Shetland ram named Hamish, and it was just some roving, I thought it was a bat, but it was some roving that had been sent to me when I purchased a fleece from a farm, and they sent me a little sample of some fiber from one of their other sheep. And it was so very, very similar to the Jacob roving in color. The Jacob was more gray, this was more brown, but I spun up that 1 ounce sample and I made this, which looks almost exactly the same. I mean, you can see when I hold them up next to each other, they are different. This is the Jacob over here, and this one is the Shetland. So one is clearly gray and one is brown, but they look very, very similar. So I spun that up, applied it together with the Shiniko, and I got 193 yards of this. I haven't like actually done a wraps per inch test or anything to see what these actually got, but I would say they're like a DK to worsted weight yarn just because of how plump they are. Like when I was spinning them, I was spinning them so fine, but they like bloomed so much. So yeah, I would say they're somewhere in DK to worsted. So anyway, I still have Shiniko left. So that's gonna take us into our works in progress, because that is all I have finished so far, kind of, this week. I'll explain more when we get into works in progress. Okay, we are going to jump back to knit and crochet for a minute for works in progress before we continue with our spinning saga. But I have been slowly making my way through the C Street dress, and I love it. It's looking so good. This is a crochet dress pattern that will be coming out in the warmer weather months. And this is a collaboration with Bree of the Little Wolf Knits. It is an extension, sister pattern to our C Street tank that came out last year. Bree is doing the knit version, I'm doing the crochet version, and I was right here last time. I was basically at the joining round for the underarms, and so I did a little bit of the body, and then I have been decreasing for the waist shaping, and I am almost through the waist shaping. My watch is like buzzing on my wrist. I am almost through the waist shaping, just about there. And then the hip increases will begin. I feel like there we go. I feel like I moved farther away from you than when I started. Whatever. Right now, I can only do about 4 rounds per session that I sit down before my hands start hurting, and that makes me incredibly sad. And I'm pretty positive that once I get to the hip, when I will be having a lot more stitches, I will be down to about 2 rounds, which means this is a slow project, but slow and steady. I'm just gonna keep chugging along, working on it here and there when I can. And because this is a work in progress, we have a little progress keeper here to tell us where we were last time. So this is, let me try and show it to you beautifully. This is a lovely little progress keeper that I got from my friend Wendy of Very Warm Stripes. And it is a handmade ceramic porcelain progress keeper. And I'm debating if I want to move it or if I want to add in a different progress keeper, because I want to know where I was. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm going to leave that one where it was so I can count rows if I need to, and I'm going to add in another progress keeper, and it's actually perfect because I just got a bunch of progress keepers from Wendy, some more of them. So let me show you them right now. First of all, this is Wendy's little card. Warm Stripes. I don't even think I said that before. Wendy is Warm Stripes on Etsy, Very Warm Stripes on Instagram. I can't tell if that's focused. I think it is. Okay. And Wendy had a recent update, and I was in love with everything that was happening. So I got a little, Wendy calls these squigs. They're so cute. It's this kind of wonky geometric dipped in glaze. All of these are porcelain, by the way. And I just love, I love everything that is like wonky and weird shapes, especially, you know, like for my buttons. I love it so much. So I got this one. I got a cutie patootie. I feel like I've said that already in this episode, but you know what? Whatever. I got this cute little fish. How can I show you? This is a little fishy. I need him to go sideways, but whatever. You get the gist. This little fish. I don't know what they're called, but the really cute ones that have the yellow, like, kind of like Dory from Finding Nemo, but not quite. Not the same fish. I know it's not the same fish, but like, I'm just gonna stop trying to say what kind of fish it is. I'm sure my husband would actually know, and maybe I can ask him and tell you what type of fish it is. Anyway, and then I got a little birdie. Now, I'm not a bird person, but this was just too good, and I love it. I love it so much. I also really love the glaze that's on this one. So Wendy's update was super cute. It was kind of Valentine's themed, and so there were like fish in the sea and lovebirds. Super cute. So anyway, I think what I'm going to add to this project to mark where we were so that I can tell you next week is the squig. I think I'm going to put the squig on here. So let's do that. Add it right on. I'm really not good at lobster claws, but that's okay. So here we go. We got our squig ready to go for next time. Oh my gosh, I don't think I even said I am using my own hand-dyed yarn on For Share Fingering in the colorway Thank Your, and that is from my You've Got Mail collection. It is still available. I have some ready to ship, and it is also available as dyed to order on any base you like in the shop. Okay, I feel like I talked about that for a really long time, but that's okay because we had a little aside for some progress keepers. Let's talk about my next work in progress. I decided I needed to cast on something that would just be for fun and for joy, and I cast on the Pillars Pullover by the lovely Claire of Perfectly Knotted, and it is big. It has quite a bit of positive ease built into it, and that is fine with me. This has been so much fun. I am using this lovely Surrey from the Little Wolf Knits. This is Bree's Buoy base, and this is a one-of-a-kind that I won in a giveaway quite a while ago, and I've been having it in my stash trying to figure out what I wanted to use it with. And then I had some test skeins of FOX, which is also in my shop currently, and I liked it, so I took it for myself, and I've been holding these together to make the Pillars Pullover, and I'm so in love with it. It's just a project that's bringing me so much joy. And also, I have on here one last stitch marker that I got from Wendy, and this is another little fishy. Stay still, little fishy. And it's so cute. Love it so much. So I need this stitch marker to stay where it is because I am counting my rows from there. So I'm going to put the little birdie on so that we can keep track of where we were for next week. So I think this has a ton of ribbing at the bottom, and I think I'm just about there where I'm ready to start the ribbing. But what I'm gonna do first is pick up for the neckband and do that so that I can see if that affects the way that this is sitting on me, try it on again, and then make my decision on when I want to start the ribbing. And then I will be working on that forever because it's like 10 inches of ribbing, I think, on the front-ish, and like 12 maybe on the back. It's a lot of ribbing. So I am working my way through this, and this is just so much fun, bringing me so much joy. And that brings us into, okay, sorry, I'm actually getting really warm, so I'm gonna take this off. It's warmer here today than it has been. It's like 45, which feels incredibly warm. So wearing DK plus Surrey, I was getting a little toasty. I just wanted to very, very quickly mention that I only have one other width. What? I am still working on my brioche adventure, and by still working on it, I mean I haven't touched it yet. But that's the only thing I have that is in progress at this point in time, knitting and crochet wise, because anything else other than I have my C-string dress, my pillage pullover, and my brioche adventure, everything else I've rocked or finished. So that feels big. That feels really big, and it feels weird because I'm kind of like, oh, I only have these two things that I'm really working on. I want to, basically, I'm not working on the brioche adventure yet because both brioche and crochet are kind of difficult things for me that I can only work on for a limited amount of time. And so right now the C Street dress is a priority, so I'm going to keep working through that. And then once, I think probably I'll be waiting until that is done to pick up the brioche adventure. And then my time that I would spend on the C Street dress will be replaced with my brioche adventure, just because I can't handle both right now. My hands won't let me. So I have to pick one or the other. But yeah, it's wild. It feels so weird. So I was really cruising along on that finishing and frogging and having only a few projects energy. And let's see what happened with my spinning widths. Basically, I still had some of this Shiniko left. I had already spun up 1 ounce, a 1 ounce sample I had to try and use up the Shiniko, and I still have some left. Like, it's not a ton, but it's enough. So I decided to spin up some other things. I'm calling this an odds and ends spin because this is basically, I'm taking everything that I had 2 ounces or less and spinning it. So this is a finished bobbin. So technically, I mean, we could have counted this as a finished object, but I'm counting it as works in progress because I make the rules. So this is a really fun little, this was a 2 ounce-ish, I don't even know if it was 2 full ounces, little bit of Corriedale that I was playing with. I just I think this was like probably almost 2 years ago that I just took some Corriedale and I'm pretty sure some food coloring, I think, and played with it. It was Halloween time and I wanted to make something Halloween-y, and there's, you can't see it, but there is some like deep purple that's hidden under here. And it was fun. And I've had it because I liked it and I kept it, but I never knew what I wanted to do with it. But I decided to kind of use all of my odds and ends and just make it work and clear out some space because I wanted to. So I finished this bobbin and then I started this, which I brought my wheel up here for you all to see. This is Qui-Gon Spin. Sorry about that. My EEW 6 from Dreaming Robots, and I am spinning this beautiful, sorry, my wheel also is so dusty because of all these like rustic yarns that I've been spinning lately and the VM that's been flying off of them. I'm going to clean it once I'm done with this. This, sorry for all of the talking without explaining things. This is some beautiful Romney that I got at Rhinebeck again. I got this from the Yarn Farm store, which is a local yarn store in Kingston, New York. And it's this beautiful deep deep brown Romney, and it came with 1.8 ounces. I just wanted to like, I don't know, it was a fiber, a breed I had never spun before, and it was cheap and a little bit, and I thought, it was fun. It's softish. So my plan is to spin this beautiful deep brown, apply it with this, and then I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have more of the brown left over after I'm done with applying it with this Halloween-y yarn. And so then finally the rest of that will be applied with this Shiniko that's left. And if I'm being completely honest, unless there is like somehow like an ounce of fiber that is left on a bobbin, I'm gonna throw out the rest of it. It's lived a full life. There's too much of it. There's too much. So that's the plan. I'm hoping to finish that spin of the brown today, maybe later. We'll see. I don't know. So I'm hoping to finish that today, and then I can get applied. And then we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I also am 98% committed to my next spinning project, which I think will be giving up on a drop spindle spin that I started in 2023. I had a spindle spin that I was working on that I started at Rhinebeck 2023, and I think I'm gonna give up on it, and I'm going to just whiz through what the fiber that I have left on my wheel, apply things up, and move on with my life. Because I have actually quite a very limited, excuse you, I have quite a limited fiber stash right now, and I'm very excited about what I have in my fiber stash, so I'm kind of trying to work through the things that I'm a little bit less excited about. Like, obviously, if I didn't like it, I would have gotten rid of it. So I still wanted to work with this stuff that I had, but I'm a little less excited than some of the other things that I have. So I'm like just getting through all the things, and I'm loving it, and I'm having a blast. Don't get me wrong, just because it's things I'm a little bit less excited about, I'm having so much fun. It feels so good to get all these things done, and I love it. I love it so much. So one last thing that I have been working on is in a big bag. This is some fleece. I got a fleece at Rhinebeck and split it with my lovely friend Bree of the Little Wolf Knits, and we scoured together. It was very fun. We had a day where we like poloed each other, which is basically like a video app, video call kind of app, where you send messages to each other, like voice messages but video. And we had a day where we did that back and forth, and we scoured together, and it was so much fun. And then we kind of put things on hold for a little bit. And last week, Bree said that she wanted to start picking the fleece, and I was so excited. So I started picking, got a bag full, which was really fun. Had to stop because of my hands hurting. I didn't want to overdo it. So because I had to stop picking, I want to say I'm probably about halfway through picking the fleece. I ended up with, it was a small fleece to begin with. So I think it was 2 pounds. We each got a pound. After scouring, I had 11.97 ounces. So basically 3/4 of a pound. So I think I'm about halfway through the picking of that. But while I was giving my hands a break, I wanted to play, and so I decided to, oh no, what am I stuck on? Okay, sorry. I decided to try making some Rolegs. Bree wanted to try making Rolegs, and I am going along with all of the fun. I just figured I would do the same thing that Bree was doing because it's fun. It's fun to do things with friends. So I wanted to try, initially I got some hand carders that you can kind of maybe see on my table there for Christmas. and I wanted to try and make roll eggs off of those, but I tried it with some like scrap fiber, and it was just, it was gonna like end up hurting me to keep doing that and making all of the roll eggs. Like I felt like carding it and then like picking, carding, and then also doing the roll eggs. It was gonna be too much. So I decided to try and make roll eggs off of my drum carder, which I had watched a few videos about. So I didn't quite know what I was doing, but that's okay. And I got a cutie patootie. That's the theme of this episode. Cutie patootie. Little roll egg. And I love it. It looks so good. Oh, that's kind of an ugly. Okay, hang on. Tuck in all of it and make it so pretty. It's so pretty. I love it. But this was the last roll egg that I pulled off of the drum carder, because the other ones, I think I loaded too much fiber onto my drum carder, because the other roll eggs that I got look like this. They're massive compared to this little baby. I'm not mad about it, because I think that this is going to be so lofty and fun to spin from, but I think it was just funny how big they ended up, because I think I just packed too much fiber onto there. But anyway, that's where we're at in terms of that project. I still have obviously a long way to go before I can start spinning anything. I do want to have, like, I know I started picking and then started making roll eggs and kind of switched what I was doing in the process, but I'm not going to start spinning until it's all in roll egg form. So I have quite a bit to do before I'm ready to start spinning that, but I'm really looking forward to it, and it's going to be so much fun. All right, that is all we have for finished objects and works in progress. I'm very excited about all of it. It has felt like a really good 2 weeks in terms of my fibery, yarny life. I've been feeling very just comforted by all of my stuff. That sounds weird, but like all of my projects have been giving me a lot of joy, and it just feels nice and heartwarming. So I'm really in a very happy state lately with my knitting, crocheting, and spinning. And that brings me to shop and channel things. Something that I posted last week is a stash update for all of 2024, resetting for 2025, showing you what's going on, explaining the whole deal, all my new rules, all the things that I changed, decided to add in, all that stuff. And once again, that's another aspect of my life that I'm so happy with. I love the decisions that I've made about my stash. I love the tracking system that I've created for my stash. It makes me feel so cool and so organized, and I love filling it out. And I love looking at my stash now, both yarn and fiber. I am so happy with everything that's going on with that. So go check out that video, see if you have any thoughts on it. Let me know if there are any stats that you want me to track that I didn't include in that video. And yeah, follow along throughout the year if you want to see how it's going, because I am so excited about what's happening already. There have been, I mean, obviously you just saw what I've cast on or started spinning in the past 2 weeks, so you can kind of guess how things have been going so far for January. And then let's see, shop stuff. There's nothing new in the shop. There's nothing new in the shop. I am slowly but surely working on a new collection for you. Things have slowed down a little bit with the holidays and with my fall that I had. I am feeling a lot better, but I'm still slow and I still can't really like lifting things is very hard for me. So usually when I have a dye day, I've been having my lovely husband, he is helping me get things set up, and so he does all of the heavy lifting, so then I can dye without hurting myself, and I can dye slowly. So I have been fulfilling orders as they come in, but other than that, I've just been kind of slowly working on a collection behind the scenes and not pressuring myself to go any faster than that, because you know, if I hurt myself more, then I'm gonna have to stop. So I might as well work a little bit slowly and just accept the way that things are for right now. So, new collection coming soon, aiming for end of February. So keep an eye out for some sneak peeks in the coming weeks, and then you can get all prepared for a new launch at the end of February. Also in the shop, I will be posting some of my hand spun for sale. I'm hoping to have it posted by the time this video goes live, but I said I would tell you what was going to happen with these skeins, and that is I'm going to be selling them. I'll be listing these for sale. I will also be listing, if you can see on my chair back here, there's a basket full of hand spun yarn that I will be listing for sale. And I'm probably going to be listing the majority of it at a pretty good price point, because some of them are my earlier skeins, which they are good. They're good skeins, but they might be more suited for projects that, you know, I don't know if I would make a garment out of them. They might not be as consistently spun as you would want for a nice fitting garment or something like that. So they might be more suited for, they're not really art yarns, but like kind of more in that vein, maybe for people that like to do weaving or make wall hangings or shawls. I think they'd be great for shawls, but I don't know if I would make garments out of these skeins. And of course I will be like listing all of the information about them and wraps per inch and weight and yardage, and like if there's anything weird or special about the skein that I notice. So I will be listing those all on the website if you are interested. And I have a lot, actually, quite a bit of skeins. Probably I don't even know, like 10 to 15 skeins probably that will be listed. Because I don't want them. And I am someone that, for some reason, I don't really understand why, but I am totally okay with spinning something and then not liking the result. Because I can still like it as a product, but I don't want to use it. You know, I can be happy that I spun it and think it's really cool, but I have no desire to ever use it. So why is it just sitting here in my house? I need to pass it on to some people. I have sold a couple of skeins in the past, and I think it's time for me to just start letting things go when I know I don't want them anymore. So if there's a skein in particular that you've seen me hold up and you're like, MC, I gotta have that, let me know if you have ever been eyeing some of my skeins that I've showed on the podcast. Obviously there are some that are too special and I'm going to be keeping them, or I love them and I'm going to be keeping them, but keep an eye out for hand spun on the website. I do have some other things going on behind the scenes, but nothing I'm really ready to talk about yet. Make sure you're on my newsletter. I will say that if you are interested in hearing any information about anything that I'm working on, I think I'm going to be changing up the way that I do tester calls soon. I mean, they're still going to go to my newsletter, but the way I run tests, I guess, is a better way of saying it. I think I'm going to be changing that up soon. So make sure you're on my newsletter. You'll get all the information. If you ever want to do a test for me, newsletter always gets it first. Newsletter always finds out about yarn things first. I don't send many emails, but I always make my announcements there, and you get a discount code. So I know there's been a lot of talk lately about people leaving various platforms, and a lot of stuff has been happening. So I'll just say I don't have plans to change anything anytime soon, but you know, the newsletter is a great place to make sure that you can stay in touch with me no matter what happens. That is mine and I own it, and nothing can take it away from me. So just sign up for the newsletter if you want to make sure that you're always in touch with me. Anyway, let's see. What else do we have to talk about? Life. Life stuff, not much has been happening. I did celebrate over these past 2 weeks, or it was last weekend, I celebrated 1 year of being self-employed, and that was wild and it felt really good. I know I didn't announce it on here until much later in the year. I think I waited until like August to announce it, but I became my own boss in January of 2024. And it like kind of, it doesn't seem like it's been a year, but it also seems like it's been forever. And like, I don't remember working for other people, but it's been awesome. It's been awesome. I've learned so much about myself and about work and about the world and how a lot of things work. And I'm really excited for 2025 and all the years moving forward and what that will bring for little old me and my businesses. And other than that, in life, we have been working our way through the Spider-Man movies, all of the various iterations. So we did Tobey Maguire, we did Andrew Garfield, we're currently on Tom Holland. I think we only have one more Tom Holland, and then we will be going through the Venom movies. So that's been a lot of fun. It's been really fun to rewatch all of them. I honestly, every single Spider-Man has been perfect. I love them all so much. They're amazing. And yeah, that's been fun. And I've been reading a lot and it's been great. I have had a couple of people ask me about my reading because I used to do some reading wrap-ups and let you know what I was reading, but one, they were my least popular videos, and two, or because of two, I think it was confusing the algorithm and it didn't really know what to do with me because I would post mostly yarny stuff and then sometimes a book thing. So anyway, I've had some people ask me about that and want it back or want to know what I'm reading and stuff. So I'm trying to think of a way that I can do that without getting everything confused and making the channel suffer or making you suffer if you're not interested in it. So if you have any like thoughts, ideas, whatever, let me know. I will say that I am on a journey to read at least 100 books this year. So it's not like when I come onto the podcast, I will say, I read this book and then be able to say it was good or bad or whatever. I'm going to have like 5 or 6 every 2 weeks. So there's that. I don't know. But if you have any thoughts, or if you like to read, let me know. If you want me to talk about books, if you want to just DM me and chat about books you're reading, that's fine too. Let me know how you would like to chat with me about booky things because I love to read. It was my first love. It is my other business. So books aren't going anywhere. I'm going to keep talking about them, but I don't know if I should do it here or elsewhere. Anyway, thank you very much for sticking with me through all of this. I have asked you a lot in this episode. I've asked you a lot of things. I've asked you to do a lot of things for me and answer a lot of questions. So I appreciate it. I really appreciate all the feedback whenever I ask questions, when you take the time to answer me. It's so nice, makes me feel really good. And I really appreciate everything you have to say. So anyway, let's wrap this up very quickly. Thank you so much for being here. And until next time, take care of you and I will see you later. Bye. Oh, I forgot to say like and subscribe. My mom will yell at me if I don't do that again in another episode. She wants me to say like and subscribe. So this is for you, Mom. Also, please, for my mom, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.